Shalom, Barakafah Yahweh, Sham Yahweh Shai, double honors to the apostles of GMS, and salutations to all of the sincere Akim worldwide. I'd like to bring you a quick update on the situation between the EU and America versus Russia and her allies. As you can see here on the Daily Express, the title of the article is NATO jets scramble to intercept Russian fighter planes, then violate Finland airspace. Hey man, war is in the air, and you can clearly see it, man. If your eyes are open to what's going on, you can see that America is going to spearhead the West into war with Russia and the East, man. World War III is about to pop off, and the Valley of Jehoshaphat is going to be popping off, man. It says here, the Spanish F-18s were deployed when three Russian planes, two MiG-31 jets, and one Antonov AN-26 cargo plane flew over neutral waters near Estonia. So, in short, as you read from the title, those Russian planes were technically violating EU airspace and NATO deployed. You know, so for all of this Brexit talk, man, NATO still exists because NATO is the war alliance separate from the economic community, man. And at the end of the day, NATO is going to go to war with America against Russia and her allies. But in the midst of that, there's going to be a lot of deception happening between these nations, man. And the Most High is going to put it in the hearts of these EU nations to turn against the devil, man. The whore, Salakia, being America, like it says in Revelations. They shall hate the whore, being the horns, and shall burn her with fire, man. The Most High is going to cause division in Esau's kingdom. It says, however, NATO have now admitted their own jets violated Finnish airspace during the operation. Hypocrites. The infringement occurred around 9 a.m. the morning and lasted for roughly a minute. The planes entered Finnish airspace in an area to the southwest of Helsinki. The aircraft are currently based on NATO's airbase in Amari, Estonia. Finland is not a part of NATO, and officials were later forced to ring Helsinki to explain the mishap. NATO spokesman Dylan P. White explained, in handing over the Intercept to the Finnish jets, the Spanish jets accidentally entered Finnish airspace. NATO's Air Command has explained the incident to the Finnish Air Operations Center to improve future coordination. Finland on the Baltic Sea is a narrow and Nordic country, and the Nordic country has experienced several air violations by military and civilian aircraft from neighboring Russia. However, violations from NATO planes are rare over the non-alliance member Finland. So Russia just doesn't give a fuck. These Russians, spearheaded by Vladimir Putin, as you can see him there, man, they're bringing the fight to America, man. They're not playing, and that pursues to Ezekiel, the 38th chapter, like I've read before in the past. I'm just gonna bring that out again for edification, because the Most High, man, is putting it in the spirit of these Russians, man, to rouse up Babylon, to rouse up Babylon to war, and it's all the work of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, man, putting it in the hearts of these elites first and foremost to drag America into a war. And hey, man, this is so beautiful. Prophecy, the mark of the beast, and World War III, man. Those are the two major prophecies, and I will always remember Apostle Tahar saying that. Ezekiel 38 verse 1. And the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Gog, the land of Magog, which is Russia, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal, and prophesy against him, and say, Thus says the Lord Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, Behold, I am against thee, O Gog, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal, and I will turn thee back, pull you back, draw you out, and put hooks into thy jaws, and I will bring thee forth, and all thine army, horses and horsemen, all of them clothed with all sorts of armor, even a great company, with bucklers and shields, all of them handling swords. Hey, and if you read on, it goes on to explain all the allies, but it tells you there that the Most High was going to put it in the spirit of Russia and draw them out, man, to forcefully draw them out to fight America. And you can see it's happening, man. Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, man, musters the host of the battle. The Most High in Exodus 15:3 is described as a man of war, man. Not only does he back Israel when it comes time for war, but he's also about these other nations warring, man. The Most High likes violent justice, man. And there ain't nothing wrong with that. Righteous killing is lawful according to the Bible. It's just murder that's going off. Luke 11 and 18, I'm going to read just there. If Satan also be divided against himself, how shall his kingdom stand? Hey, that's the main point I wanted to get out of that, because And in that scripture, you had the scribes and the Pharisees trying to tell the Lord that he had a devil on him. Fucking wicked ass niggas. Yeah, which is why our people find themselves in the condition they're in now. One of the many reasons, of course. But Yahushua quoted there, if Satan also be divided against himself, how shall his kingdom stand? And the answer is clearly, it's impossible for that to happen. A kingdom divided against itself cannot stand, man. Hey, man, that's also in Mark, the 3rd chapter, the 26th verse. But Yahushua laid it out plain. These devils warring each other, there's no way, man, that the kingdom's going to survive. But guess what? The Most High has put it in their spirit, man. You see, Esau's the devil, man. The fucking devil, the border of wickedness, as Malachi, the 1st chapter and the 4th verse describes him as. And he's not prone to doing righteousness. That's why even amongst his own people, he's doing wickedness like what he's currently doing now. But the Most High is going to put it in his spirit, man. The Most High is going to put it in the spirit to not only deceive the nations, but also to deceive his own kind. That's why you got these Russians going against the Americans, and they're both Edomites, man. And the weapon that he's devised is going to strike him through in the long run. And that's the RFID. I mean, Salakia, that's that ICBM. 1 second, just one more scripture. Salakia, 1 second, brothers. 1 second. Yeah, that's it. Just want to bring out one more scripture, because Russia and America are going to go to war. They're going to decimate each other, man. And in the midst of that, Yahweh is going to save his people. Hey, this is Job 20 and 23. When he is about to fill his belly, Yahweh shall cast the wrath of his fury upon him. By fill his belly, it means, nearly accomplish his mission, nearly accomplish that diligent search of wickedness that this white man's about, by, authorizing his chip, having it out there, thinking he's literally just about to win. And then just in the midst of it all, Yahweh will return. Beautiful, man. And shall rain it upon him while he is eating. The Most High is going to get this white man, when he's least expecting it. Least expecting it. He shall flee from the iron weapon, and the bow of steel shall strike him through. That's the ICBM, man. No matter what these Edomites do, Russia's going to get hit up. So will America. So will all of these major cities in Europe. And some of these other European countries are going to turn against America when they see all of the folly that she's wrought, and the wars, unnecessary wars, I should say, that they've drawn them out into, and the tight position of straits that they've been put into because of America. They're going to hate America and also shoot upon her. Basically, in short, man, Babylon is finished, man. Totally finished. All of these other nations are coming against her, and you can see that Babylon is weak. You even got North Korea and Iran sending threats, and that's when you know, man. Oh, man. It says, it is drawn and cometh up out of the body, talking about the missile metaphorically coming up out of the silo, because obviously the ancient prophets would have used the terms they had available to them at the time. It says, it is drawn and cometh up out of the body, yea, the glittering sword cometh out of his gowl, terrors are upon him. What's that glittering sword? A massive ICBM, and that's what the prophets saw in the ancient world and used the terms that they had to describe it. Obviously, they wouldn't have had words we have today, such as missile, bomb, etc. Well, in short, you can see it's all prophesied, man. It's all here. ICBMs are going to be shot. Babylon is going to be totally destroyed. Gog, modern day Russia as well, is going to get it. Yeah, a lot of these major cities are going to get it, and Esau is going to destroy himself, man, in the midst of all of this. Barakafar Yahaba Shim Yahushai, because this is the most beautifully orchestrated plan, man, ever. And in the midst of that World War III, when Yahushai returns, and Lord willing, if we be of the elect were delivered, man, the first thing we're going to do is cry and give thanks to the Most High. And I can see it, man. I can actually imagine the jubilation and, the fear, man, I'm going to have of the Lord. Hey, I'm going to leave it there, brothers. Shalom. Stay up to date.